Welcome to the first video of the KFM. In this, the first of a whole new series of home study training videos, we shall be focusing on the nucleus of the KFM, the Pensador, or sometimes known as the Thinking Man. The word Kesi means from the heart, and the KFM salute is a reflection of this statement, because we believe that in the hearts of honourable men and women live the souls of warriors. The Pensador is the nucleus of the KFM. It is the place where the origin of the KFM was truly conceived. The body will only ever do what the mind tells it to. Therefore the mind is the key and the driving element. With a strong mental ability and a well-tuned physical body, the predator within will start to emerge. The Pensador was first born in the observation of the brutality. After, we need to study and analyse this radical and emotional situation. Archimedes used to say, "Give me a place to stand, and with a lever I will move the whole world." And the Pensador is this point for the KFM. It's important to train and understand the technical work before we can cultivate the dynamics and the emotional instinct. It's essential to keep the hands fixed tightly to the head and the shoulders lifted. This ensures that we protect the neck properly. Now in this section, the focus training helps to develop the dynamics. We introduce a little pressure, thus forcing the predator to act more instinctively, and not just repeating a set fixed technique with a one-dimensional approach. By lifting the level of intensity, we now start to develop a natural human instinct. This kind of training is essential if we are to absorb the essence of KFM, as KFM lives in the blood and not in the accumulation of techniques. Here we analyse how the Pensador starts to become a weapon, enabling us to counter the opponent's punch. Firstly, we see the Pensador countering the jab. Remember, this is only the beginning, so take it easy. We need to develop our ability with the Pensador step by step. There are no shortcuts, just good training. Now we see the Pensador counter the cross. This is very similar to the jab because we are still learning to counter the simple direct punch. Now, with a change of angle, we see the Pensador counter the hook.
As time changes.
It's really important to keep your eyes on your opponent and use good body mechanics to counter this line of attack.
Different phases as time changes, my mind changes, seeing through the ages and different phases.
With another change of angle, we now see the Pentador counter the overhand. Remember, keep the hands fixed tight to the head and brace the shoulders. This is essential in order to support the neck correctly. Returning to a circular attack, we now see the Pentador counter the slap. The last change of angle sees the Pentador counter the uppercut. The close range uppercut is a short tight angle, so take care in the beginning. Once we've spent a little time developing this angle, you'll start to feel a little more comfortable. Good body mechanics combined with flexing the legs is extremely important in our quest to develop this particular area of work. In this section, it is important to understand the change in distance, which brings into play a new weapon, the elbow. The first angle of study is the circular elbow, and we now study how the Pentador counters this particular angle. Changing the angle, we study how the Pentador reacts to the descending elbow. The last angle change here is the ascending elbow. Again, we need to study and analyse this work in order to catch the functionality. Now in this third section, we study and analyse how the Pentador counters the diagonal knee. Clearly this work provokes many questions, but that's the whole idea. We need to explore and investigate all the possibilities and develop the functionality. Again, changing the angle, let's look at how the Pentador counters a circular knee. Now moving on to the fourth section, we look at a different weapon and a different distance. Let's analyse how the Pentador counters the kick. Here we see the Pentador counter the circular kick. Lastly, in this section, let's take a look at the front kick. Let's study how the Pentador counters the direct kick. The Pentatecchio is broken down into 3 levels: high, middle and low. Pentatecchio high line. Here we start to train with 2 opponents. This is very important because we now enter into the next step within KFM. It's extremely important to remember that we never fight with just one person. This is something that we must have very clear in our minds. Pentatecchio midline. To study the Pentatecchio correctly, we must study slow and fluid in order to catch a good understanding of what we're trying to do. Observe how the elbows are level with the shoulders in this midline Pentatecchio. Low line pentatecture. In the low line pentatecture, it's very important that we flex the body and the legs. Now in the low line, the elbows are close to the hips. It's very important that we now start to feel like a predator. This is because we receive the attacks on 3 levels. Attention and reaction are key here, because we now start the process of cultivating the instinct. This exercise teaches us how we can observe the attacker and counter his attacks using the pentatecture high, middle and low. Pensador counters the grab using dynamic development. The concept of this section of work is to create constant pressure forcing the opponent to find the real application in order to develop the instinct. We can now see how Pensador counters some of the more basic angles and lines of attack. Action-reaction training is a great way to continue developing the instinct. There are many applications here, but we continue to use the basic Pensador. In this section, you see how the Pensador counters the basic grab, but now working with 2 opponents. Here we lift the level of intensity. What is the consequence of this? We create stress. Now instinctive reaction is your only answer, because we have now passed the technical element and created an environment dependent on action and reaction. In Now we have a little understanding of the pensador, but now we need to learn how to attack from this instinctive reaction. In this exercise we combine the body mechanics, the pensador and the jab. Now we start to learn how to punch from the pensador. Here the work is the same as the previous exercise, only now we change the jab for the cross. Now we combine the jab and cross against two opponents. This helps to develop simple but very important attributes needed when applying a simple punch under pressure. Here the pensador is the nucleus of the training. We have three areas of development. 1. The pensador. 2. Attack and recover the pensador. 3. Development of the body mechanic. Each of the areas we are studying is the consequence of the other. The balance. Using different obstacles helps us to develop our balance and body mechanics. The concept. We must learn how to move in a confined space and at the same moment control the area around us. All predators have the ability to control the environment and the area around it. Developing 360-degree awareness is vital in the development of predator-alert training. In this particular exercise, we need to control the movement of the two opponents, like we are a true predator. Here the two opponents start to push and pressurise a little. We need to try and support the balance as best we can, whilst at the same moment controlling the opponent's movements. Now we need to absorb the energy of the opponent's push and turn it into a counter-attack. Normally when we are pushed, we usually just try to recover. What we need to develop is the ability to absorb and then redirect this energy to work in our favour. You must use good mechanics in order to get the functionality out of this work. All the body must work in unison. You will feel the need to adjust the feet slightly in order to maintain good balance, which of course is vital if we are to deliver a good attack in return. Methodology is the key to learning, and KFM follows a strict and comprehensive method of study and investigation. This makes the KFM very easy to learn, as it really is a simple step-by-step process. Here we add a little energy, but not too much yet. We still need to build mechanics and ability before we start to lift the levels of intensity. Now we have a brutal change in the evolution of the Predator. We need to have good balance as well as good body mechanics, because we need to develop the ability to attack, receive and redirect energy whilst maintaining good structure. Plus, we need to control the areas best we can whilst all this is going on. This is the first of 6 sequences. We need to follow this exercise step by step. Don't miss any part or you will break the process of understanding. The structure of this sequence is the constant development of action and reaction, where the pensador is the key area of work and the nucleus. Here the opponent moves around us freely. We need to pay great attention here. We receive the first attack with pensador. We then counter-attack with jab, pensador, jab, pens attack. Now we need to learn and develop this drill step by step. First, the action and reaction is fundamental in any rail situation. This is seen here as we attack the focus and immediately receive the counter-attack from the opponent. Now we introduce the Pence attack. This is a radical transformation when the Pensador transforms into a dynamic and brutal attack. How to develop the Pence attack? Firstly, we develop the Pence attack in the shadow fighting. Secondly, we develop the Pence attack on the kicking shield. We must learn how to adjust our energy and our body mechanic in an explosive and fluid movement. We also attack the kick pad slowly until our neck and body mechanic allow us to attack the kicking shield a little harder. We now move on and develop the punch and the Pence attack. The Pence attack is a radical evolution of entering via action and reaction. Now let's look at the sequence in 3 levels of intensity. The first level, we need to develop and understand the movement. In the second level, we start to develop the dynamics of the movement. And in the third level, we start to develop the explosive reaction, which is the consequence of the previous work. Let's look at how we can now start to develop the jab cross in combination. Part 1. Jab Pensador, jab cross Pence attack. Let's take a look at how we develop this combination. First step, jab Pensador. The second step, pence attack. The third step, pence jab, pence cross, pence attack. Step 4. Put all the steps together and develop the different levels of intensity. Let's start to develop sequence 3. In this particular sequence we develop pence cross, pence hook, and the combination is jab pence door, pence cross, pence hook, pence attack. Let's take a look at how we develop this combination. First step, jab pence door. Second step, pence attack. The third step, pence cross, pence hook, pence attack. Step 4. Now we put all the steps together again and develop the different levels of intensity. Let's start to develop sequence 4. In this sequence we develop Pensa cross, Pensa over, and the combination is jab Pensa door, Pensa cross, Pensa over, Pensa tack. Again, let's take a look at how we develop this combination. The first step, jab Pensa door. The second step, Pensa tack. The third step, Pensa cross, Pensa over, Pensa tack. And finally the fourth step again. Put all the elements together and develop the different levels of intensity. Sequence 5. In this sequence we develop Pensa cross, Pensa slap, and the combination is jab Pensa door, Pensa cross, Pensa slap, Pensa tack. Again, let's look at how we develop this combination. First step, jab Pensa door. Second step, Pensa tack. The third step, Pensa cross, Pensa slap, Pensa tack. Step 4, put everything together and develop the different levels of intensity again. Finally, let's develop sequence 6. This sequence we develop Pensa cross, Pensa upper, and the combination is jab Pensa do, Pensa cross, Pensa upper, Pensa tack. And finally, let's look at how we develop this last combination. The first step, jab Pensa do, second step, Pensa tack, the third step, Pensa cross, Pensa upper, Pensa tack. Step 4. For the last time, put it all together and develop the different levels of intensity. Hopefully you will now start to realise the amazing potential of the Pensa do. Its applications are unlimited. We only need to follow a good methodology and the rest will take care of itself. Here you can see how the Pensa do has functionality in all areas. Study how the Pensa do breaks one of the more basic traps, the head clinch. The element of timing is also very important. Depending on whether we counter before, during or after the attack will dictate the mechanic and the application of the Pensa do. Now you can see how the Pensa do counters a classic guillotine choke. Hopefully you should now start to appreciate that the Pensa do really is quite amazing. And as time passes you will understand that the nucleus of the KFM has unlimited potential and that you are the answer, not the technique. And don't forget, this is only the beginning of the first grade. It just keeps on getting better from here on in.